Hey everyone, I wanted to give you a 360 tour of a really incredible cabin. It's called the Minnestuga and is on Devil's Track Lake, which is what you see here. And I thought I'd start with one of the most magical and impressive parts of it, which is just being on this lake, hearing the water, being surrounded by the northern woods of Minnesota, up in Grand Marais, and just being a part of nature at its core. And so the cabin is actually behind me, so we're going to walk up there and I'll give you a little tour of the Minnestuga. So as I walk up the hill here, you can see this majestic and beautiful A-framed house. And this was built in the late 60s, I think 1968, and you see like this very unique looking sort of jet out of it A-frame, very atypical for the area. Very different than what you would normally see in Minnesota and a lot of parts of the northern woods. And I wanted to point out just quickly this roof from this angle, so you can see how much they built up the roof. When they originally purchased this house, Melissa and Kevin Coleman, they knew that they were going to have to add some insulation to the roof. Well, they actually built up about a foot, 10 inches to 12 inches of insulation on top of the existing roof, and you'll see on the inside that allowed them to preserve all of the 2x6 cedar that was originally part of the house. And they extended the roof out to add in this beautiful deck. You see this combination of both Kebony cladding and Shausugi bond kind of coming out and forming this really impressive overhang and balcony so that you could take advantage of all the views. One of the things that they did as well was they actually added windows on the entire front side of this facade, which it didn't originally have. Now, some of the other interesting parts I'm going to show you as you go around the side of the house, some of the different challenges and unique design features that the Minnestuga has. So as we go along the side of the house up the hill, you'll notice this very interesting dormer that was created by the original house, and it sort of goes up and allows for this second story to be a part of the original A-frame. Now, before they had reclad everything, they were looking at it and they wanted to add this picture box and this huge picture framed window. And in order for them to have the window box and that large window, they actually removed this entire wall, and that allowed them to reclad it all with Kebony. They put this composite roof on top that's going to last for decades to come. Then they had this line of sight because of the way that the design of the original house was, that they couldn't allow for the window box to see anything. So they actually mimicked it with this metal post, and this allowed them to still keep that design from the front, so you didn't lose the symmetry of what the original house was, but also gives a beautiful line of sight out of that window box. Then as you come around to the front here, you'll see it's very similar to the original house, and in fact that was by design. They didn't want to remove those dormers, and in fact they wanted to be able to preserve as much of the front facade as they could, so that they could really have an ode and a way to pay homage to the original cabin and the original design. And then you'll see here, as you come along to the side where the front entrance is, you have this asymmetry in the design of the roof. So the original roof followed this line where it sort of angled out, and then you see here that they added on one side and removed on the other side. And that was so when you're coming up to the house and you're looking in maybe from one of the bedrooms or the bathroom, you would actually not feel so claustrophobic. You would actually have a line of sight to the coming up in the driveway. So very interesting how they were able to accomplish that. And honestly, if you weren't told that, it almost just blends seamlessly into the design of the house. You would never even know it. So let's go up into the interior and I'll show you some of the cool features that they have in there. So here we go, walking into the front entrance of the house, and you can see right away it's filled with this cedar cladding, which is actually original to the house. You could just see this new tile. You know, they updated it as much as they could, and this would be what they'd consider the master bedroom, bathroom downstairs. And you also have this very unique flooring. This is actually end grain parquet flooring that they put down. It just gives it this very unique look. And the kitchen as well, they actually extended the kitchen out 24 inches to be able to allow for a little bit extra cabinet space, a little bit extra counter space, you know, making it a little bit bigger than a one-person kitchen. What's really cool about this area is that everywhere that you look, it feels like this has been a cabin for 40 years that people have lived in. People have experienced summers, winters here, and you really get to just take it all in. And Melissa and Kevin did an amazing job curating everything from the dishes to the paint colors, everything to make it feel as cozy and as homey as possible. So I'm going to take you up to the loft area now. You can see some of the other bedrooms and bathroom. So previously on the second story, they had this open space, but it wasn't really utilized in any way. And so the Colemans were actually able to make this feel like it was a second living space, something relaxing, somewhere you could really go and just take in all the views and really the area that is around you. So they added obviously this window box, great little picturesque area to relax. You have a second bedroom up here. You have a second full bathroom. You also have this loft area with a bed, so that can be for kids or just for someone to relax. And then obviously you have these amazing views out here. And there's also a balcony, which I'm going to show you right now. So as you take a look at this deck, you can see again just the amazing views that you're able to have. This was not originally here. This was added after they expanded the kitchen below and allowed them to have this deck area. And you can really see how beautiful it is up here. See a little bit above the trees, Devil's Track Lake. You see the pine trees, the birch trees, and then they of course extended the ebony cladding and decking up here as well. And you can also see what we were talking about with these wings on either side, where they have the design element in the front mimicking how it always was, and then on the back they sort of continue it, but still allowing you to have this view out of the lake versus having it blocked and needing to lean over to see what's out there. And now I want to show you one of the coolest views of the place, which is off the loft inside. Let's go take a look. So as you walk back inside, you get to see this spectacular loft view, which a wall of windows, see all the way out to the lake. And originally the house did not have this wall of windows. It just had a couple of small triangle windows in the top and a sliding glass door, and that was it. And so now you're able to see all the way out to the lake and really bring all of the outdoors in, from these huge windows, the skylights, the deck. Everywhere you go, you get to experience the outdoors. The other thing I like about this cabin is the way they were able to preserve the character of the original cabin from 40 years with all of these, the cladding, all of this original cladding. This is 2x6 tongue and groove cladding that originally made up all of the roof structure. So they added on the insulation, but everything else was original to the house. And so they didn't touch that. They kept it all intact. And you really get to feel like this is a 40, 50-year-old cabin, something that was built in the 70s as it was. From the books that were chosen, from the furniture, everything feels like this is somewhere that people have been vacationing for decades. And it really feels like you are part of the family when you're here. So next I want to take you out to the deck and really show you what it means to relax out here in the Minnestuga. Now, this is the place to be at the end of the day. Now, if you can, picture you're out here, it's dusk, you have a fire going, maybe there's a drink in your hand. There, that's better. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Minnestuga. I'm going to hang out here for a while. And if you want to see more videos like this, you can go to our website. And until then, cheers.